Hello fellow bird nerds, and welcome back to another video where we're talking about whether you should get another bird. You guys are probably aware that we are a pro multi-bird household. We have a lot of lovely birds living with us, living their best lives. But is getting another bird the right time right now for you? Or are there other factors to consider? That's what we're talking about in today's video. So the first prompt I had there was time. Do you have time for a second bird? Obviously, in an ideal world, we will bond up our birds together like this. And if you do need help with bonding two birds, don't forget we do have our consultation service with our business Best Behaved Birds, where we do help a lot of birds get along or at the very least achieve tolerance. But if your birds don't like each other at the start, how are you going to manage your time? Do you have time to dedicate to each bird having their own separate time out of the cage, having their own training time, bonding time? Do you have time to actually do the initial bonding with the new bird yourself, because they need to get to know you as well as your other bird too? So that is something to consider. Do you have the time to accommodate a second bird? Another very important factor to consider, especially in today's economy, is can you afford a second bird? Whether you are adopting a bird or getting them from any other source, there is going to be some kind of fee to pay in order to bring them into your life. But it's not just that, it's the recurring costs along the bird's entire life. It will be additional food bills, toys, perches, vet bills, everything on top of what you already do for your existing bird or birds. Can you afford that extra bird and be able to meet the needs of them as well? And if you do want to save some pennies and maybe you want to get this new bird some lovely things before they arrive, then you can check out the sponsor of today's video, which is Northern Parrots. They currently have their summer sale happening at the time of filming. It is the final week. There are more deals to check out on their website. Highly recommend. I've already placed an order this week for my flock for lots and lots of goodies, but do check them out because they've got loads and loads of different things in the range, from toys to perches, cages if you need a new cage for your new bird, and lots of other amazing things. So make sure you go and check them out. 10% off your first order if you sign up to their newsletter. We talk about them all the time because we do genuinely shop from them and we do really like what they stock. They have loads of natural toys on there as well that your new bird might like. Sisal ropes. There's so many things, isn't there, Scam? What's your favourite? You really like the solar ball toys and the cork perches, don't you? They're two favourites. So we've definitely stocked up on those recently, but there's loads of other things to check out. So make sure you do go and check those out and save some pennies if you are getting another bird or you want to treat your current flock. If you already have one or more birds, you're probably well versed to the noise and the mess that they produce. However, if you're getting another one, that does mean there's going to be even more noise, even more mess, even more feather dust and feathers everywhere and chaos and all those kinds of things. More poops to clean up as well. But we haven't regretted adding any of the birds to our flock, even though they're all completely unique and have their own past life history and their own personalities. They're all incredible. And just look at these two. They're amazing. They came from totally different backgrounds, both rescue birds, both had multiple homes, didn't have the greatest starts in life, but they're bonded up and they are now inseparable, which is just adorable, and it's such a gift to be able to give birds companionship of their own or similar species. Perhaps you already have a bird and maybe they have some behavioural challenges, maybe they are screaming, maybe they have separation anxiety, and you're like, well, I'll get another bird, that'll solve all my problems. Spoiler alert, it's not going to solve all your problems. If anything, it's probably going to double your problems. We never recommend getting a second bird to solve your existing bird's problems. We need to actually deal with those issues first so that you have a confident and robust and independent bird before you then add in another bird. Adding another bird is just more stress and more things to focus on, and it's not a quick fix for solving your existing bird's challenges they already have. Obviously, the theme of this video is we do recommend having a multi-bird household. However, that's not really the right way to go about it. And again, not another hard sell, but if you do need help with solving your bird's existing challenges, then you can reach out to us. Again, all the info will be down in the description, as well as links to Northern Parrots for that summer sale. But if you do need help with your bird's existing challenges, we can help you in our consultation service. Do you have the space for another bird? Because if you are bringing another bird into your home, you can't just bring them in and put them in the same cage as your existing bird straight away. That's a recipe for disaster, fighting and injury. So please never do that. A lot of people do that and it's really not a great idea because these birds don't know each other. It's not like you can just pop two conures together and they're like, oh, you're a conure, that'll do, best friends forever. They don't know each other and they need to get to know each other in a slow, formal process that you can have a bit more control over, because that is generally a smaller area. When you put them into the same cage, they can't escape easily, and it's probably already the existing bird's kind of territory, so to speak, and what they're familiar with. And having an unfamiliar bird just coming in and eating from their bowls and playing with their toys, they're not going to take to that very well. You will get the odd circumstance where maybe it works out, because there's always one who likes to comment saying, well, it worked for me. It's really a terrible idea to put two birds in the same cage that have never met before on day one. You do need to do some formal bonding work, which means that you do need to have a second cage for this new bird, even if that's a temporary cage, so that they can get used to each other and you can do some of this formal bonding work, like in my video how to bond two birds, which will be up there somewhere. We said at the start that we can do lots of bonding work between two birds. However, like with people, not every individual is going to get along with another. We all have conflicting personalities and different interests and different ways of communicating. So if your birds don't get along, do you have the space to accommodate a separate permanent cage rather than housing them together? And if you don't, then we need to reconsider whether getting another bird right now is the best idea for you. Now, not to put you off, but another thing to consider is when you add another bird to the flock, it will change the flock dynamic. And when we talk about the flock dynamic, we're not just talking about your existing bird or birds, we're talking about yourselves as well, because that can change the way that some birds behave. It can change the way that the flock works. So that's something to consider, that sometimes the social structure and things can slightly change, who likes who behaves in a certain way. When you add another individual to the flock, it's just nature, it's normal, and things may settle down, but it may also just change things as well. So if you're prepared for that change, then that's great. We truly are passionate about having a multi-bird household. These guys would live in huge flocks in the wild, and whilst of course there are many solo birds who have incredible lives and love their humans and are doted on and waited on hand and foot, there are situations where we can't meet their social needs. We aren't conures, for example. We can't communicate in the same way, and we have to go out to work. Maybe we do want to have a holiday once in a while, and when these guys are left on their own, that is an unnatural state for most parrots, because they do live in large flocks in the wild. When they are on their own, that is obviously something that's going to potentially increase stress, because if their flock's disappearing, does that mean that there's a predator chasing them? You know, that's something to consider as well. There will be many solo birds who do wonderful and live amazing lives. However, we do need to think about whether we are ticking all of the boxes when it comes to their social needs. And if we're being completely honest too, there are so many parrots who are looking for their forever homes. Rescue centres and sanctuaries are overflowing. It really is a crisis at the moment, the amount of birds who need homes. So if you are able to give a lovely little parrot another fresh start and a forever home, then that would be incredible. As you guys know, we recommend Busy Beaks Bird Rescue here in the UK. If you are looking to add to your flock, they are a wonderful rescue, highly recommended. We rescued Cole and Tutun with them, and we definitely don't regret it. It's one of the best decisions that we have ever made. They have lots of birds who are looking for their forever homes, so do go and check them out. Again, lots of links down below. Let me know what birds make up your flock currently. Let me know if you have a solo bird and you're thinking of adding to your flock, and what you would like to add to your flock going forward as well. But from me and Pickles, P and Scampi Doo. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.